Hi everyone, let's discuss about ventilation and perfusion today. We know that one of the major role of the lung is to facilitate gas exchange between the circulatory system and the external environment. The lungs are composed of branching airways that terminate in respiratory bronchioles and alveoli, which participate in gas exchange. Most bronchioles and large airways are part of the conducting zone of the lung, which delivers gas to the sites of gas exchange in the alveoli. Gas exchange occurs in the lung between the alveolar air and the blood of the pulmonary capillaries. For effective gas exchange to occur, the alveoli must be ventilated and perfused. Ventilation is the movement of air in and out of lungs to facilitate gas exchange. There are two types of ventilation. One is pulmonary ventilation and one is alveolar ventilation. The pulmonary ventilation is also known as minute ventilation or respiratory minute volume. It is the volume of air that is inspired or expired in the respiratory tract per minute. So minute ventilation is equal to tidal volume into respiratory rate. Normal tidal volume is about 500 ml and respiratory rate is 12 breaths per minute. So the minute ventilation would be 6000 ml or 6 liter per minute. So coming to the alveolar ventilation. Alveolar ventilation is the amount of air that reaches the alveoli or that is utilized for gas exchange every minute. So the alveolar ventilation would be tidal volume minus the dead space volume into respiratory rate. The normal dead space volume is about 150 ml. So the alveolar ventilation would be 4200 ml per minute or 4.2 liters per minute. Deep and slow ventilation increases the alveolar ventilation. Deep, that is the increased tidal volume, and slow, that is decreased respiratory rate, increases the alveolar ventilation. At the same time, rapid and shallow breathing decreases the alveolar ventilation. So coming to the zones of ventilation, we have three zones: zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. Zone 1 is the upper zone, where the alveoli here are large and stiff due to increased negative intrapleural pressure in the apex. Because of the stiff alveoli, the ventilation here will be very less compared to the other areas. So ventilation in the zone 1 is 1.92 liters per minute. Zone 2 is the intermediate zone. Here the size of the alveoli will be intermediate compared to the zone 1 and zone 3. Here the ventilation it is 4 liters per minute. Zone 3 is the basal zone. Here the alveolar size are very minimal but they are very compliant. So ventilation here will be more compared to the other two zones. Here the ventilation is 6.5 liters per minute. Now let's see about normal and pathological ventilation. The normal minute ventilation is equal to tidal volume into respiratory rate, where the minute ventilation is 6 liters per minute. Tidal volume is 500 ml and respiratory rate is 12 to 20 breaths. Any abnormal increase in minute ventilation or tidal volume or respiratory rate is known as pathological ventilation. So increased minute ventilation is known as hyperventilation and decreased minute ventilation is known as hypoventilation. So increased tidal volume is known as hyperpnea, decreased tidal volume is known as hypopnea, increased respiratory rate is known as tachypnea and decreased respiratory rate is known as bradypnea. When both tidal volume and respiratory rate are increased, the minute ventilation increases, which is known as hyperventilation. When the tidal volume and respiratory rate decreases, the minute ventilation decreases. It is known as hypoventilation. So whenever the ventilation increases, more CO2 will be exhaled, leading to decreased PaCO2. Whenever the ventilation is decreased, CO2 is retained in the blood. It leads to increased in PaCO2. So hyperventilation is the increased respiratory rate and increased tidal volume, which is depth of ventilation, can lead to CO2 washout, thereby decreasing the PaCO2, which ultimately results in respiratory alkalosis. And hypoventilation is characterized by decreased respiratory rate and decreased tidal volume and depth of ventilation, leading to retention of CO2, thereby increasing the PaCO2 level, which ultimately results in respiratory acidosis. The causes of hyperventilation and respiratory alkalosis include the central CNS stimulation causes like fever, pain, anxiety, CVA, brain trauma, tumor and infections, cerebral edema, pregnancy, progesterone, catecholamines, and drugs like salicylates, medroxyprogesterone and aspirin, liver disease, sepsis, and hyperthyroidism. The other causes of hyperventilation include like high altitude and anemia, and chest receptor stimulation causes like early stage of pulmonary edema, pleural effusion, pneumonia, pneumothorax, and pulmonary embolism. The causes of hyperventilation or respiratory acidosis include trauma, brainstem disease, and drugs like barbiturates, opiate, which causes a respiratory center depression, and the upper airway causes like acute epiglottitis, croup, OSA, and obesity, and chest wall causes include kyphoscoliosis, ankylosing spondylitis, and neuromuscular causes include myasthenia gravis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, polio, phrenic nerve injury, and muscular dystrophy. And other obstructive lung diseases like chronic bronchitis, bronchiectasis, cystic fibrosis, and severe stage of asthma, severe pulmonary edema, and severe ARDS all can result in hyperventilation and respiratory acidosis. Thank you.